Hi, my name is Jesse Eggman. I'm the founder and owner of Be Transformed Body, Spirit, and Soul. I'm a missionary with Go-To Nations, and I've done contract work with TCK Training. I've been in missions for about 16, maybe going on 17 years now. I am a husband and a father, have 3 kids. My oldest is a TCK. We've been living in Texas and the United States for a while now, but our heart has always been with culture and with missions and with getting to explore this amazing world that God made. I'm creating this mini video series to talk about TCKs. So what is a TCK? Well, TCK stands for Third Culture Kid. And a third culture kid is any child who spends a significant portion of their developmental years outside one or both of their parents' passport cultures. And so third culture kids can exist for all kinds of reasons. You have diplomats' children, businessmen and women, their children when they're living internationally, military children who are living overseas. You have religious purposed TCKs like missionary kids. You also have people who move for education, and their children, when they go with them overseas, can be TCKs for that purpose as well. So in this mini video series, we're going to be talking about TCKs. What is a TCK? What are the benefits of being a TCK? What are the challenges of being a TCK? What are some of the helpful factors that can help them along their journey? We're going to be talking about transition and some ways to do that well. And we're also going to be talking about how do you do family on mission and what can that look like? What are some things that have worked for our families and other families that we know? Chances are you might never have heard of the term TCK before, or third culture kid. You maybe have not heard of a TCK or adult third culture kid. Maybe these terms are very familiar to you. It was back in around 2015 when I first heard the term TCK. I had a TCK, my wife and I had a TCK. We'd gone to a local missionary get-together, probably about 500 missionaries present. We'd been on the field for, something like 4 years. And for the first time ever, I heard a TCK share about TCKs and what that is and what that means. And it was a huge eye-opener for me. We had already begun noticing that our team and our families on our team had some needs. We had begun trying to find resources, digging into what was going on, what could be done about it, how we could help these families that we loved and cared for. And so when I heard the term third culture kid and I began to dig into that, I found a bunch of really amazing resources. One of the first books I read was called Third Culture Kids. It really opened my eyes to see in depth what it means to be a third culture kid. What are the benefits? What are the challenges? What can be helpful along the way? What are some of the factors that give you success, or at least help make the journey easier as you go through it? As we began to study third culture kids and read literature and dig into videos, we began applying what we were learning with our team. My wife and I were assistant team leaders at the time of a team of about 33, and more than half of those were children. It had grown pretty quickly. Most of them were newer missionaries, and the families began sharing with us in their weekly mentoring sessions that they were really struggling. They were seeing their children behave in ways they'd never seen before. They tried every tool in their toolbox and nothing was working. And they began telling us, we really might need to consider moving back to the States. And while we fully supported them taking care of their family, we said, as you consider the option of moving back to the States, let's dig into a few things here and see if they'll make a difference. And literally within just a couple of months, 2-3 months, some of these families had really turned the corner. So how did they get from we've never seen this before, nothing's working, to wow, our kids are completely different? Well, we're going to be talking about that here in this mini TCK video series. But some of the really easy things are learning that children's reality is not necessarily adult reality, but it is their reality. And if you just try to tell them that their reality is not real, they're going to have a really hard time not only hearing you, but understanding what you're telling them, because to them it is real. But if you're able to get down on their level and try to see life from their perspective, hear how they're experiencing their world, then you're able to, one, have compassion and relate to them, but two, then you're able to speak a different perspective in and bring some needed truth that might be missing from the mix. And so as part of this journey, a lot of it has to do with simply building relationship, caring for them, letting them know that you care, that you're there for them. But there's a lot of very specific and practical things you can do as well. As I said, we're going to be talking about what is a TCK? What are the benefits? What are the challenges? What are some helpful factors and things you can do along the way to make the journey easier? What does transition look like, and how can you prepare for it? How can you make it easier? And then what does a family on mission look like? What are some helpful rhythms and routines, and what has worked for the families that we've known? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this introductory video. These videos are meant to be short and sweet, to the point. They're meant to help you learn how to care for your TCK. Now, whether that's your child, your grandchild, a nephew, a niece, a loved one, a friend, or whether it's just a child who was sent out to the missions field from your church, and you want to know how to better care for them or how to understand them better, this video series is for you.